to illuminate the often unseen mental health challenges faced by first responders, police officers, firefighters, paramedics, and 911 dispatchers by sharing their stories, fostering understanding, and promoting resources for support and healing. We aim to break down stigma, advocate for improved mental health services within the first responder community, and inspire hope and resilience. This is the Weight We Carry podcast.
What's going on, guys? I'm Bart with the Weight We Carry podcast, and today's the day. Mr. Talo Capuzzi, paramedic, 911 dispatcher, and a fire chief. And look who's to my left here.
Brittany Heaney.
What's up, baby?
I love you too, man. It's great.
Talo, what is up, my brother?
Not much. Doing the thing. Great. I'm so happy to be here. Right? So happy to be talking to these two. You know,
dude, I'm so happy to have you here, man. It's so awesome to. Well, we've kept in touch. You know, I wish we could do it more.
Yeah, we always have. Yeah.
But we all have lives. You know.
Right.
But game night soon.
Game night. We'll do it.
Game night.
We'll get together.
Dinner.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do it.
I'll cook nice and healthy for us.
You look great.
Yeah. Thanks.
Heck yeah.
It's been a challenge, you know, but one foot in front of the other. Keep going, keep doing, you know.
One day at a time, buddy.
Right. One more.
Heck yeah.
Right? One more. Always
one more day.
More. One more
Always
hour,
one
one
more.
more minute, one more second, man. One more.
And another one.
You know, another one.
So, man, we have some stuff to talk about. Man, I've known you since, where did I start at Ross? 2007, 2008, somewhere around there as a third person.
Somewhere in there. I've known the other one longer, though. I've known Britt longer.
I know, I almost strapped an axe on your head the first time I met you.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Okay. Where was that at?
It was a apartment fire on McKnight, and tripped on the top of the truck.
Yeah, my first Brittany memory is we're in Millvale and someone's wearing the Beast shirt.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's
you like Beast? I'm an animal.
Right.
It's like I hope you like animals because I'm a beast.
I'm a beast. Right.
Yep. This is gonna be good, man. I'm so excited for this.
And I was definitely at the infamous party. Right.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Which
Where
one?
you two met?
Oh yeah, the 159.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know it was a day of infamy. The day she graduated from college.
It was?
Yeah. Thank you, Wes Semple, for doing all my homework.
I don't know if the statute of limitations up on that, Britt.
Well, I didn't make Dean's list, so.
Yeah. So no stolen valor.
Yeah.
So, Taylor, give us a little bit about yourself, man. Let everyone know who they're going to be learning about today. Just give us a little introduction to yourself.
So as Bart said, my name is Talo Capuzzi. I'm a paramedic. I'm a response paramedic in the North Hills of Pittsburgh. Primarily, I do work in other parts. My full-time job, I'm a 911 dispatcher north of Pittsburgh as well. And I'm the fire chief currently of the Adams Area Fire District. We're located in Mars, Pennsylvania.
A man of many hats, for sure.
Many hats, you know. I also got the girlfriend at home, and we already started talking about a new puppy. I'm sure we'll hit that sore spot in a minute. But
absolutely,
we already started talking about a new puppy.
Oh, I remember the OG. I remember her coming to the station all the time, man. So
yeah.
She gave you a lot of good years, though.
She did. So, you know.
We'll get into it.
Yep.
All right, Taylor, let's get into the questions, buddy, okay?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Tell us a little bit about your journey in public safety and what led you to become a firefighter, a paramedic, and a dispatcher.
So my mom and I used to go to Rochester, New York a lot. That's where she grew up. And I had an uncle there that was in the fire department. He took me under my wing. My grandfather was pretty sick, so instead of going to the nursing home, he'd say, "Hey, let me take Talo and we'll go and do what we're going to do." And he would take me to the firehouse. And up there, they ran an ambulance out of their firehouse, all volunteer. So I got interested in it. And since then I joined, I was 17, I think, when I joined. the fire department. I was an EMT by 19, and I think I was given narcotics before I could legally drink. Crazy.
So the paramagician then, holy cannolis.
Yeah, it was like it was a full-on sprint. And that was, I'm 42 now, so we're 24, 25 years into this fun journey.
Man, we're getting old.
I mean, you two are pretty much the same age.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm only 19 months. Some days I say the 19 months. Some days I say the 42 years. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. We'll get into that later.
Yeah,
For
we will.
sure.
Right.
For sure, man. So, long time as a paramedic. And then I met you, like I said, about in 2007, 2008, when I started my third person volunteering at Ross.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Man, that was such a really important time in my life. Met all you guys and some excellent providers. Like I say that with I don't say that easily. I had the opportunity to work with some of the best pre-hospital providers, I believe, in the world. And you're one of them. And I want you to know that, Talo.
And we called it the University of Center Parish some days, right? You learned a lot in that building. And I won't say some of the best providers. The best providers in the world have come from that building. And, like Richie B, right?
Just
retired, and he is like lower than all, but man, he was a great provider. I could drop names for days that are now doctors and nurses and anesthetists, and they all came from there. And it's a special group of people. Wouldn't change a moment of it, right? Met great people.
The good, the bad, the ugly that we've all gone through. It has
always
been good.
And you learned a lot about yourself as well as the people you worked with and the way to love, right? So
simple, man.
That was simple. Yeah.
With those 20 plus years in the field, brother, what's kept you going in such a demanding career?
I'm adrenaline junkie. I like the let's go, let's put the speed to it. But also I like helping people, it's not always the crazy calls. It's also the little grandma that, he just wants to talk to somebody, man,
Make her a cup of coffee.
Make her a cup of coffee, right? Cook that old guy a Dinty Moore beef stew so that his blood sugar comes up. It's all about, it's about, we were taught sell the product, right? But it's also, I like helping people. I don't want to say that it gives me a sense of worth, but it does give you a sense of helping people. You got to give back.
It feels good.
It does.
It feels good, man. But I remember those nights, man, 2 a.m., phones would drop. I was your EMT, hop in the driver's seat of the medic unit. And this is Talo as soon as we hopped in the seat.
Right.
I'm struggling. One eye in it.
I'm out. I'm out. Right? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then I'd be like, wait, she missed a turn. How'd you know? You were asleep.
I'd be elbowing you the whole way, trying to stay up.
Right, get there and it'd be snap of a finger, man. Right? But
good times, but like it is. This
great
is going down
times.
memory lane, man.
Great times. I loved it.
Heck yeah. You mentioned being in the right place at the right time throughout your career. Can you share some of those moments that stand out to you?
Yeah. January 1st, I don't remember the year. We were dispatched for a female that wanted to kill herself. She was standing on the bridge, Perry Highway over 279. She just had enough that day. And she was like, I'm done. So she's standing on top of the bridge, responded with the supervisor, my partner. And I think 3 hours later, we finally got her off the bridge and took her down to Whippet, got her some help. I've had the ability to pull a couple people out of fires in my career. And it's just, I was taught by somebody, you put yourself in the right place at the right time, you're going to get to do good things. So helped some people. That's about it, like making opportunities. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Doing good jobs at it too, man. Like I said,
thanks.
I was an adult, I was an older adult when I got into EMS, and then coming to Ross, and then meeting yourself and Janko and everyone that worked there. And I remember going on my very first calls as a third person with you and Keith, man. Like,
Scary cry. Yeah.
Dude, it was fantastic. But you look back, years later, and it's like, it's yeah. Perfect. But yeah, what was I saying? Just even then, they were very impressionable times, especially getting into EMS so late and trying to understand like where I fit, especially at that place of that high of caliber.
Yeah, and it if you didn't fit, you didn't fit.
Yeah.
And they would pound a square peg into a round hole if they wanted to. I guess not they, we. I was part of the crew, hammering, but we always saw the people that we saw stuff in, we worked on. We wanted them to be part of our family.
Yeah. Then we turned into
Like
a well-oiled machine when we were on calls.
Mm-hmm.
The crew of
Yeah.
the Hard Knocks.
Yes.
We had some hard people there, man, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that the truth?
So I know we're gonna get into this, but I mean this is gonna be a tough one for you. It's a tough one for us also, but I mean you lived through it. But July 8th, 2023.
19, right? 19 months.
19 months.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there.
Just take us back to the day and what happened leading up to your sudden cardiac arrest, Taylor.
So I was working in the city of Pittsburgh. I was contractor, if you want to call it that, at the Ed Sheeran show. We worked all day. It was a hot day, We worked a cardiac arrest at the end of the show, and walking out, we talked to the paramedic that we had rode with. I had worked on the floor that night. Talked to the paramedic. She's like, "Hey, I'm going to go pick up my partner in Allegheny because that's where the first patient had been transported to. You guys just want to ride back in the vans?" And I'm like, "Man, do I feel like crap?" I didn't know if it had been hot. It was like 90 plus degrees. It was no wind. And I didn't know if I just felt crappy because of that. Looking back on it, at one point I was loading a stretcher and I'm like, well, that's chest pains. I should probably stop doing what I'm doing, but they need help. Walking back towards the ambulance or towards the vans, and next thing I know, I'm waking up in Allegheny General's ER. Not a clue in the world. Not a clue. Like I had no idea what went on. I woke up, I look at the foot of my bed, and Megan Lenz is standing there, and I'm like, why are you here? And then I did the old, well, I didn't get shot. What did I do? I started looking, some of my other bosses were there. Looked to my right, my mom, my dad, Chelsea, Joe Garrison, there were, the people that you're like, yeah, that mass, that's who you're expected to be there. And then I learned that I arrested. I took a shock in the field. I got IF, I got an epi, and I got transported to Allegheny. They did have to cardiovert me again in the ED. But I was 100% occluded to my LAD, which is the main vessel that carries blood to your heart, and called the Widowmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I dodged that bullet, right? Right place, right time,
Yeah,
right place, wrong
right time.
Right. And I think, if we wouldn't have worked that first arrest, I'd be dead.
You think so?
I'd be dead. I know I'd be dead because I'd been driving up 279. I would have gone unconscious. I would have been laying in bed at night, something like that, right? I'd be dead. I am not dead because I was in the right place at the right time with the right people. I got CPR within seconds of hitting the ground. I got defibrillated within minutes of hitting the ground. So,
Wasn't your time.
wasn't my time.
I remember when we heard, Britt's going to be able to elaborate on this. We heard, I don't know where I heard it from. I heard a medic went down in the city. I had no clue. And then Britt had this, if you want to elaborate, babe.
I just kept saying, I don't know, I have a real bad feeling about this, and I just couldn't let it go. And I kept telling Bart, I was like, I think Talo was working at a concert. I think I saw a picture of you or something, and I kept saying, I just can't knock this feeling. And I texted you, and I was like, I don't remember what I said to you. I was like, please tell me it wasn't you. And you're like, well, it was me.
Yeah.
Just,
Gordon texted me like 3 days later, and she's like, I was picking somebody up, and they said that they were doing CPR and a paramedic, and I'm like, that's Taylor. She's like, I had a feeling. So, but I one lucky SOB,
Thank you, man.
to know who I am, what I'm doing. Not only to survive, to do the things that I'm doing now, but that the American Heart Association says that survival is discharge at near normal neurologic function. I always joke and say, what's normal for a normal person or normal for me? Because it's definitely different. But that's what they said when I started cracking jokes in the ER. They're like, wow, okay. I guess the resident walked in the room. And if you've worked in EMS long enough, 1st of July is what? New resident day, right? So resident walks in the room and I say, what year are you? And he said, I'm a 3rd year. I said, thank fucking God you've been here more than 8 days. So they said at that point, everyone was like, well, okay, he still has a sense of humor.
You're never going to lose that, buddy.
No, probably not. Some people wish I would, but.
No way. That's Talo, man. So I know you already covered waking up and seeing all these people that you knew around you and figuring out what went on, but obviously, this is an obvious question, but how's that experience changed your perspective on life, work, and your mental health?
So life, it has changed tremendously. First things I do in the morning is say I love you. The last thing I do before I go to bed is I love you. Never leave the house without getting a kiss. Unfortunately, I've lost my dad since then. But being a healthcare provider, I could tell that he'd fought multiple myeloma for like 15 years, and that's a 5-year disease. So near the end, I made a phone call to my brother and my sister. I said, hey, you need to come to town if you can. I got to say goodbye to my dad. And one of the biggest things I've struggled with is, do the people that I love know that I love them? So, and not being able to say goodbye or possibly leaving them with that question really haunted me for a while.
And we, I think as, pre-hospital providers, and you go into work every day, at least before your incident and everything. Like you said, a lot of things change and we mature as we age, but you don't realize how quick it can be. Like no matter what, you wake up in the morning.
You have this feeling of, I've done this for so long. I don't want to say we're just punching the clock, but some days it felt like punching the clock. I've done it. I can do it. I'm okay. I'm invincible. And then I look back and I'm like, yeah, a year and a half of heartburn. Well, it wasn't a year and a half of heartburn.
Remember us, going to dropping off someone at Shady Side or West Penn, and then we're like, let's hit up Permane on the way back at 3 in the morning.
Right. And it changes it just changes. I pack a cooler every day now with my lunch, with my dinner, whatever you want to call it. And do I still stop and get that stuff? Yeah, once in a while. But it's not every day like it was.
Oh yeah, I remember those days, man. That's all we did was just I would always think, I'm like, what do I want to eat next? What do I want to eat next? And it was
Yeah.
always bad. It wasn't good stuff for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It was never anything that was prepared with thought. It was always, what can I grab and shove in my face?
Kind of comes with that job, though. You got to eat quick because you never know when the next call is going to go out. So you grab what you can.
It does come with the job, but it also is it's a lifestyle, even when I was off duty, I would do it. So it wasn't strictly a duty thing.
And that's going to lead us right into this, man. It's how have you adjusted your approach to your physical and mental health since that event happened?
So I take my food with me as much as I can. I try to prepare low fat, high protein, full grain stuff as much as I can. Some weeks, months, I'm better than others, but we try to do what we can. On a weight loss journey recently, about 60 pounds, thankfully, from pharmaceuticals a little bit. Also with that is my doctor said, you're going to go to therapy. And he, talking with my therapist, he's like, did you ever use food as a crutch? And I'm like, no, I used it as a fucking wheelchair. Right? Right. I didn't need
whole
crutch.
journey.
Right. I was a hospital bed type of dude. Right. So, but, I if I had a bad day, I candy bars or whole tub of ice cream. And now it's like, I had a tough day. I'm going to go to the gym and beat myself up physically instead of mentally.
Yeah. It's those little steps, though. It's all the steps that you can take to just better yourself every day.
Right. And that's what, like I said earlier, it's one more, right? One more step, one more.
We got it. So you mentioned before dealing with mental health in probably the worst ways. What were some of those struggles?
Boy. I had this discussion last night. I stopped at an EMS station and, we had our demons well. At least I thought I did. I definitely had a problem with pain medication at one point in my life. And unfortunately, working in the job, we could stop and see this doctor, stop and see that doctor, stop at my PCP, stop at my ortho. And I was self-medicating a lot, not only the pain medications, but also alcohol. I found the answers on the bottom of a bottle a lot. Again, I thought I hit it well. I didn't. But, I've tasted gunmetal. I've been there, man. I've been at the end of the rope. I've been there, right? Like there was nothing left, and now there is everything left, right? But yeah, like not talking to people, escaping in a bottle, escaping in a pill bottle, escaping one addiction after another, right? Whether it be gambling, unfortunately, whether it be women, whether it be, kind of left a path of destruction for a little while,
Yeah.
And it's hard to say that, right? Because you don't know about it, right? You don't know how far down your friends are because I'm hiding it well. I'm okay. I'm fine. Definition of fine is fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. Right? You're not fine. There is no fine out there. Right? And I was there. I was at the end of the rope. And I couldn't do it because of where I was. Because the people that were going to find me were my friends and my family. So I moved on to this tomorrow. Right? And then, and this was.
I'm glad you're here, buddy. I love you, man, for real.
That was probably trouble. That was probably 2010, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Think of the things, you never knew. You see those stories about sitting next to me in an ambulance. The next morning, I'm taking 5 or 6 Vicodin, driving up 279, drinking Jack Daniels.
Oh, we're glad that you beat that and you're here.
So am I. Right? I'm glad I'm here too.
Hell yeah. We love you.
I love you guys too. I love you, man.
I love you,
great.
man. Well, thanks for making me cry before reading another question.
All right.
So, how has your approach to mental health changed over the years?
I go to therapy every Wednesday at 1 p.m. The phone goes on Do Not Disturb. Guys at the firehouse know between 1 and 2 that Taylor ain't going to answer. But, man, you got to talk. It is okay to not be okay, because nobody's okay. Everybody got shit, right? Everybody has it. From the dude that's standing on a corner with a sign that says, I'm hungry, to the person that's got a wad of hundos in their pocket, driving a Lamborghini, living in a $20 million house. Everybody got shit. Ain't nobody exempt, but you got to talk about it, ask for help. Some of the best conversations I've had is been in a dispatch chair and talking to one of the dudes sitting next to me, and I'm lucky the shift that I'm on, or the shift that my shift recently got broken up because of promotions. But, we were all paramedics or EMTs that had done time in the field, firemen, family people, dog people. But you got to talk about it. Go and get help. Doesn't make you a weaker person. Makes you stronger.
And that's the whole stigma of it. Good, bad, or indifferent. When I got into it and, working alongside you, I always felt that I had to sort of puff my chest out a little bit and not, because I would think I would appear weak to,
the people that you looked up to.
Yeah.
The people that you wanted to be like, the people that you thought were your family.
Yeah.
We all lost that special guy a long time ago, man, right? And he said, hey, I need help. What can I do? But I think a stronger person is a person that says, I can't do this alone. I need someone to help me. I need someone to talk to. I need someone to be there on my journey with me, And if you don't need somebody on your journey with you, even better. But if you need somebody, say something, right? So that's my change, is like, say something. At the end of the days, just fucking it up or over. It should have never happened.
But you learned from it.
Right.
Then
why medicine is a practice and not an art. Or it is an art and it's a practice. It's not a defined line.
And I think, with the significant medical event that happened, that's at least how I found it with mine, it was a second chance to do things right. And then I think, I think you're in the same position, I mean, this is it. This is my reason that I'm here, and we're going to make the best of it.
Exactly right. That is it. Right. Like, I'm a nighttime person, right? But you need me to stay up till 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll stay up 10 o'clock in the morning and I'll listen to you talk. I don't have that problem. Like, I would much rather not sleep at all than put another friend in the ground. Cool. Man.
So you mentioned before, yeah. You mentioned before that the gym definitely helps you with a coping mechanism. Do you have any others that you use or recommend to people?
Well, if we're Snapchat friends, sunsets, right? Sunsets are a thing, especially if I can watch airplanes while they're happening. But it helps me get away. It helps me focus on the important things in life. It helps me concentrate on where I need to be, right? Taking the time for me. There's some days you just kind of want to shut it all off and you can't deal with the constant ringing of the phone. Alarm fatigue is a real thing, and definitely, especially in our job with that constant ringing phone in the background, some days it's like, I just want to take my phone and throw it somewhere, and just leave, so, getting away from it. Unfortunately, Luca she was a big,
It's family.
she was my little girl, man,
buddy. Absolutely.
But not only that, like, the last 2 years, the constant come home and she was here, so, My other one's music, and it's gone through the stages over the years. I raised on oldies, raised on the Beatles, on the Stones, on the Who, the Guess Who,
Your mom and dad are hippies.
yep, still are. I'm
Heck
still
yeah.
doing the thing. Country, actually have the depressive country playlist a little bit, the upbeat country playlist. Every once in a while, I'll still pull out some WA. I still can't remember the song that I just started going off to the one night. And you're like, where the hell did that come from?
Dude, there's so many stories that it's hard to revisit because there's so many of them. You know what I mean? I just remember all those times, man, to and from the hospitals, or chilling at the station, or sitting outside in front of 212 smoking a cigar. Remember those days, man? It was great.
Yep.
Good years, man.
So how do you balance the weight of your job with your personal life?
So I was horrible at it. Not going to lie. I brought a lot of stuff home. But, I'm trying to leave it at work. It's tough because I'm in the same area that I serve, whether I'm answering the phone or answering the radio. But, I'm probably not the traditional fire chief. I don't always have a pager on. My pager's over there. It's probably been off for a week. I just had stuff going on. I'm lucky that my assistant chief he's operationally very, very effective. My line officers are very effective. My firemen are very, very effective. Leaving the dispatch center in the dispatch center is tough some days because of, we're around the same people. My room is pretty small. We got at max 6. So it's the same personality sitting next to you every day. So it weighs on you a good bit. And, my personality weighs on people too, But I have to remember their issues with me or their issues, and my issues, I can choose whether I want to let them be my issue or not. So that's where that is.
So are you?
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I got you, buddy. So nice to have Talo on.
Damn cold thing or whatever it is, kicking my butt a little bit.
No, not getting the flu, are you?
No, it's just sinuses are all. Yeah. Yeah, I've been wearing a mask as much as I can when I'm out doing the thing.
Yeah, it's work.
So why do you think there's still stigma around mental health in the first responder community?
Because we still have dinosaurs in the field. We still have, we're all type A personality. We don't want to be told we're dumb or we're doing something wrong or there's a better way to do something. I think that's part of it. The other part of it is we're self-reliant. I mean, and it's not just mental health. Look at how many of our people have diabetes, how many of our people are obese, how many of our people have addictions to not only drugs, but like caffeine, nicotine, gambling, whatever it be.
Yeah.
And it all comes back to, I'm okay. I have me. I don't want to be the person that's relying on somebody else. I don't want to be a whiner. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that, So I think it's getting much better, much, 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 much better. I think we saw a epidemic of sorts with the mental health of our emergency service personnel. But I think talking about it, addressing it, it's like anything, you're still going to have people that are beating a drum because that's the way we always did it. But those people are not thankfully going by the wayside. They're either aging or are going by the wayside, because the ones that are going by the wayside, I don't want to say that they weren't worth it, but they were the hard-headed people that you couldn't change their perspective on anything. Their perspective was their way to do it. We've always done it this way. The ones that are changing are open to change, understand that things change. So
And it's definitely needed for sure. You need
Yeah.
to progress through it, and the world has changed, and there's no reason to stay archaic in emergency services, especially in regards to the mental health. Have you seen changes in the way mental health is addressed in fire and EMS over your career? And I know what this answer is going to be.
Yeah. When I first started, we had those the CISSM team. If, like if it's a really, really, really bad incident, we can call them. I have numbers in my phone of people that I can call right now and be like, hey, a dog ran out in front of me and I had to spike the brakes, right? Doesn't need to be a bad incident. I forget what the number is, but they say emergency services personnel get exposed to so much trauma repeatedly in their life, right? Not taking anything away from our military responders because, they give us the freedom to do whatever the hell we want most of the time. A lot of those guys are coming back from wherever they were and they have 2 or 3 or 5, traumatic incidents. So there were days that I didn't drive, there were years that I didn't drive down a certain street, right? And I just thought I could find this way to go. And I didn't think there was anything wrong with that. Now, if I'm not going to drive down a certain street, I call somebody and I say, hey, I'm spiraling, So I think that's a change. The other change is I'll sign the papers on you if you want me to, man, right? Like before it'd be like, oh, I'll take you and talk to you or they're going to be okay. But if I think somebody's in a real bad way, I don't give a crap what you think about me. I'll throw it to you. I'll force you to get help if you don't want to get help,
So what advice would you give to any first responders, new, old, who are struggling but hesitant to seek help?
It's okay to not be okay. Right. It's normal to not be okay. We're not meant to see this crap. I know you and I have probably had this conversation, but we're bringing, I am bringing 14 and 15-year-old kids into this, as junior firemen. We're letting EMTs at 16 years old, their brains aren't developed. I think at 25, our brains aren't developed enough to, see some of the crap we see. I've had a dude with a chainsaw on his neck, right? I've had I had a dude that fell into a gypsum grinder. I have had, traumatic amputations. I had a month where every shift, we worked 8 shifts a month, right? Every shift, all 8 of them, dead person, first thing in the morning.
Yep. That led to 3. They came in 3s all the time.
No, bro, 8. 8 every morning. Remember, they were calling me and Heather Dr. and Mr. Death because I was definitely the dumber of that crew, right? And we walked in for our 8th shift and Jeff Kelly goes, no, like it looked like he kicked his puppy.
The black cloud rolled through.
Yeah. He's like, I thought we were done. I'm like, no, Jeff, that was only 7 shifts. And literally I said it and the tones went off and he's like, God, thank God you two are definitely split up next week. But that stuff doesn't weigh on me. What weighs on me is the little 5-year-old kid that I had as a near drowning on McKnight Road. And, I was 6'2", 400 pounds. At my heaviest, I was probably 350. We show up for this little kid that, skinny little kid that's near drowning in a pool. And we go in and he's crying. I'm like, what's wrong, buddy? He's like, I ruined our vacation. And I'm like, oh, man, you're okay. And come to learn, they're from Homewood. They're on McKnight Road for vacation. And I'm like, calm down, right? Like, I'm trying to calm this kid down. And then we drop him off at Children's and I sit in the ambulance. And I'm like, this 5-year-old little kid is so worried about ruining vacation for the entire family. And I'm worrying, like, I get to go to the beach. I get to go wherever I want, right? And, like, how great do I actually have it? And I worry about how bad I have it. And now, 20 years later, I'm thinking, you know, maybe those people in those apartments that were like, man, how do you live in this shit? Are just happy they're not living on the street. You know,
You look back at that stuff and you really, no matter how
I beat
bad
myself
sometimes
up.
things get,
Well,
you know,
and you know what? You and I had a conversation years ago, and I never put a needle in my arm. And there was a time in my career where I definitely judged people for doing it. Then I'm looking back now and I'm like, man, was I an asshole? Right? Because how far down do you have to be that that's the option? And how, as a society, do we not? I mean, I know you can only help those people for so long, right? You can only, at some point you're going to be like, I can't do it anymore because now it's affecting me. But like, I don't know the struggle that that person went through that led to that.
yeah, walk in their shoes for a day. And that's the hindsight, like you said, 20 years down the line and 20 years ago, we look at those people that we went to overdoses 2-3 times a day, the
Yeah.
same person. And we've all said it. We've all been like, what in the world? And I look back now and I'm like, it took that one time that we gave the Narcan, or that one stern talk that we took for that half-hour drive to the hospital, and it actually changed their life for the better. And
Right.
that's why we do what we do.
What we do.
It's what we do.
Right. So that would be my thing. The young, old, new, been doing it for 40 years because we know they're out there. You don't know what people are going through. You don't know if that person had a gun in their mouth yesterday. And you don't know if that person's sitting next to you in your ambulance or riding in your fire truck or talking to you on the radio. So everybody got shit, right?
Yep. And how hard is it to be kind to people? I think that's the
Sometimes it
biggie.
can be tough. Sometimes it can be tough,
Believe
right?
me.
Like they're right.
Believe me.
It definitely can be tough sometimes, but you got to try. You
That's
got to
it.
try.
One day at a time.
One more.
One more.
And another one.
As the big kahuna chief at Adams Area Fire Department and a dispatcher, do you implement any mental health initiatives for your teams?
Nothing mandatory. No, I'm not going to force anybody to talk to anybody, but they definitely know that I have the contacts. They definitely know that my door is literally always open. And they know that if they can't get a hold of me, the chief before me, Bill, he still answers his phone. Unfortunately, in 2024, we had one of our junior firefighters take his life. And I wanted to curl up in a hole. I didn't see it. I saw him the week before. He was laughing, having a good time, and I didn't see it. I wanted to crawl in a hole and die. I was broken, but that night we did our thing, right? We remembered him. We had some health professionals come in. We talked to them. Everybody that wanted help got help. Anybody that needed help got told, hey, you need to go talk to these people. And it wasn't just us, it was the police officers that were first there. I unfortunately was working and took the call at 911. Talk about a whole ball of shit. But, the next day I already had therapy scheduled for Wednesday. So, Wednesday, 1:00. Got my shit done. Talked it out as best I could. But doors open. We've been fighting to implement an EAP, or an employee assistance program. Unfortunately, there's a cost to that. We're working with our local municipalities to see if their EAP will cover us. So we're working, but we're every day, man. You got to keep putting it out there. Got to keep doing that thing, right? Every day.
Yeah, check up on people and check often. It's kind of
Yeah.
the theme we've
It's a
learned.
theme we've learned.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, it's okay not to be okay. And you got to be told that sometimes because we're so strong and we can do it and I can deal with all my stuff. But sometimes I need people to be like, yo, you ain't okay. And I definitely have those people,
Bring you back down to earth. Ground you.
They'll kick me right in the back of the knee and be like, bro, you know. So yeah, they do it well too.
Yeah, but
So how does working as a dispatcher compare mentally and emotionally to being on the front of the line?
Oh, it's horrible. I think in EMS, we have those, especially where we worked, right? An hour, maybe. If we were really far out, we had an hour. Now some of my transports are an hour, so it's a little longer. As a dispatcher, I get a 30-second to 3-minute snippet of that person's life. You don't get the outcome. You don't get to know exactly what happened. You don't get to, there's lots of unanswered questions sometimes. I've been lucky enough that I've been on the line when someone was born, but I've been unlucky enough that I've been on the line when somebody took their last breath and I could hear the EMS people walk in and I'm like, that dude is dead. Right? So middle of July last year, we had a big incident in my county. And the dispatchers took a lot of flack over that by the people that were at the incident, the people that were calling. They were accusatory of our actions on that day that led to someone dying. You guys are pieces of shit. How'd you let this happen? You should be shameful. You should go kill yourself. I worked Saturday, I worked Sunday, and I couldn't do Wednesday and Thursday. And I was like, I'm out, right? Pulled those chalks. I called my boss and I'm like, I know I have vacation starting on Saturday or on next week. I said, I ain't coming in for my next 2 shifts. Write me up if you have to, put me on paper, do whatever you need to do. And there was no qualms about it. Yeah, do what you need to do for you. But I think it's just as tough, if not harder.
Yeah. That's kind of my biggest fear when, Bart went to dispatching. I'm like, not necessarily always saw the outcome, but most of it and can follow up. So I'm like, are you sure that you're be okay being on that line and getting that 30 seconds and not being able to put the hands on the person and seeing that outcome? So that was definitely my biggest fear.
But the other problem is you hang up and the phone's ringing.
Right to the next.
And then
Right
you
to the
hang up
next.
and the phone's ringing. And you hang up and the phone's ringing. And you hang up and the phone's ringing. Then you hang up and this person said something bad about me on Facebook. Dude, it's not that big a deal. It's fucking Facebook, right? It's social media. It's someone you don't even know. Like, who cares? So, yeah. It's tough.
Did you find the transition between roles challenging when it comes to mental health?
A little bit. I became a dispatcher in 2013 part-time. 2018 is when I came over full-time. I had a back injury that I had a herniated disc that I still don't think I could do EMS full-time, even though I lost weight. And I'm going to hate myself for saying this, because it'll probably hurt tomorrow, but my back doesn't hurt every day anymore. It was my back injury, not my weight, that caused my back pain.
I got some wine.
Right. Yeah, here, I got some here. I could see 100 different people in a day working EMS. We went to different hospitals. We saw different EMS crews. We saw different patients. We saw different firemen, different police officers. I'm stuck in the room with the same, there's 20 full-timers. So I see about the same 18 people in that room every day I go to work. Right. So that's why being a response paramedic is good. I get to see my people again.
Right. That's always how it is. Like, I stopped down at the station a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and it was so good.
Yeah.
Saw Greg, saw Steve, saw Ron. It was good, and even there's the new faces there that I have no clue who they
Yeah.
are. But
They have no clue who you are. Right. But,
you walk in there and it was like home again. It really was.
Right?
It was like,
yeah.
yeah.
It is good, that I don't want to say that they're like-minded people all the time, but, because I work with paramedics, I work with retired firemen, I work with retired police officers at the dispatch center. So they're still my people, but seeing more people, it's nice. It's really nice. The people on the response unit laugh because tonight I'm going in at 11 and they'll be like, bro, why are you up all night? Because I work night. And they'll be like, well, we're going to bed. You could sit here and watch TV. But it's good. It's good. I like seeing people.
What's something that you wish more people would understand about the mental health tool of dispatching?
Cool. I think that, just because we're not seeing someone bleeding out, just because we're not doing compressions on someone, just because we're not seeing the filth that they're living in, we kind of know what it's like. At least for us, we're required to have a couple of years of experience. It takes a toll on you just as much. We're still part of the team. I worry about my officers because they're my officers, just like they're my firemen. They're my EMS providers. I worry about all of them when they're on the radio because they're mine, and I want them all to come home just as much as they all want to come home. I worry about, I'm gonna semi-rural county in parts, and you send the EMS agency to a sketchy call that the radio service is kind of sketchy, and you're like, man, you send the police officer you just get a funny feeling about things. You're listening to firemen. I need more line. I need more pressure. I need this. I need that. They're still mine. I want everybody to be okay.
All right, we're on the final stretch.
All right.
Looking
We're
back
good.
on your career, we got it. Looking back
got
on your career, what's the biggest lesson you've learned about mental health and public safety?
We need to address it, right? We need to, it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you less of a person. It doesn't make you weak, right? It doesn't make you vulnerable. It doesn't make you, it actually makes you stronger, right? Asking for help is probably the strongest thing you can do because I can't do it all myself. Like I said, we're all type A personalities, right? We don't want help from somebody. I want to be able to do it all on my own. You can't do it on your own. Nobody can do it on their own. Ask for help.
If you can go back and give advice to your younger self in this field, what would you tell yourself?
Eat a gym, talk to somebody, and get a job with a pension. Right? Get a job with a pension that pays you after 20 years. But I mean, I know my retirement date, November 11th, 2038. Next day, they're going to pay me not to come to work. Right? So that's my date. Plan for the future. We only have a finite amount of time on this earth. We only have a finite number of runs we're going to make. We only have a finite amount of shit we can care about. Prioritize it. You're worth a lot more than you let people make you think. That and a starting wage is a recommendation. It's a negotiation when you go into it. They may tell you that this is what they pay, but remember, they want you to work there.
Know your worth.
Exactly right. The current place that I work is a response paramedic. They came in and said, I'm going to pay you this amount of money. I said, no, I want this amount of money, hoping they'd come here, and they stayed up here, And my manager goes, how'd you get them to pay you that? I said, that's what I wanted. I said, you wanted me? I want to work there.
You want my experience and skills? This is what you're going to pay me.
Right? Know your worth. Make them pay you for your worth. And then if you don't have a job, we'll give you a pension. A wise man once told me, I will make as much money for as long as I can until somebody's going to pay me more. Right? So don't be worried. It's not your family life, right? Your work ain't your family. When it comes down to it, like those people that are going to check on you outside are your family, right? But the dude signing your paycheck ain't your family, right?
True.
So get what you're worth while you can,
You kick ass and doing it.
right? Take names,
That's
take names and kick ass.
it. All right, Taylor. Are there any resource books, programs, organizations that that have been particularly helpful to you, and anything that you would recommend to others?
Cool. So I was, the guys at the firehouse laugh at me because I got deep into reading in the last year. Leadership books, Nick Lavery, Objective Secure or Objective Complete, I believe the name of the book is. He's a above the knee amputation SEAL that is back on the team, that is deployable. He's the first one, right? He's a machine. They actually nicknamed him the machine, right? So his book's good. Start with Why Leaders Eat Last. What is McConaughey's book? Green Sheets or Green Fields, something like that. His book is great. I read that in like 3 days at the beach. There's a thing called the Chill Project, which through AHN. They've been really helpful for me. The National Suicide Hotline. You caught me off guard on that one, man. I wish I had more. The Code Green campaign.
There's so many resources out there, and I don't know if you watched Dominic Lazzini's interview. He was really, really excellent, and just if you Google search it, there's so much stuff out there that I don't think we take advantage of.
There isn't. There is. We don't take advantage of it. And it's why don't we take advantage of it though, right? Because I don't need to, or I didn't know about it, or this or that. I know what the latest trend in firefighting is. I know the latest trend in EMS. Well, maybe you should take some time to learn what the latest trend in your self-worth is, and and I'm not saying that people don't do that or that resource isn't there, but yeah, it's there's tons of them though, man.
Ready for this one, Taylor?
Oh boy.
All right, Tay.
There's only a few people that call me that, bro.
No, I know. What message do you want to leave with our listeners today?
It's okay to not be okay. Ask for help. Always say I love you. I got asked this question the other day by somebody that's a little older. There's guys at the firehouse, and I tell them every time I hang up with them, I love you. Right? And I love them because some of them are like my kids because, they're 19 years old and I could have a 19-year-old, but that one hits hard when you're like, I can have a damn adult. I could be a daddy to an adult.
Am I an adult yet? I don't know if I'm an adult.
No, I'm not. I definitely am not, right? I'm definitely a 42-year-old little kid. Remember your self-worth. Say the hard things, right? You're not okay, right? I'm good. You really, though? I hate the word fine, right? I said it earlier.
Oh, yeah.
I'm insecure, neurotic, and emotional. I hate the word fine. I'm fine. No, you ain't fine. But, say the hard things. If you see something, say something, try to include everybody. You know, we had a family. We have a family at Ross Westview. You know, I still consider you two family. You know, Janko, Bane, DJ. You know, I could go down the list, right? You know, Greg and Becky, man. You know, that dude should have fired me so many times. Right? He should have. But, you know, he saw something in me. And, you know, that's the thing, right? Like, we get chances. Everybody has chances. Everybody messes up. You know, admit your mistakes. That's another thing we learned there, right? You mess up, say you messed up. Everybody makes mistakes.
Be accountable. Be accountable for yourself.
Right? Yeah. Be accountable for your team, you know? So, but do good.
Do good in this world, man.
Right.
That's what it's about.
Right.
You do a lot of good in this world, Taylor.
I hope so. I hope some people think so. You know, they do. And this one's tough because, especially the world we live in now, you know, I address social media, but if I'm not going to go for you for advice, I don't care what you think about me. You know, because that person ain't coming to you for advice either. If I hold you in enough regard that I'm going to ask you for advice, then I'll care what you think about me. But until that point, I don't care what you think about me. Because the people that you're going to take advice from are special people in your life.
Hell yeah, man. We're going to leave it at that, brother.
All right.
Tay, Fred and I were really looking forward to this interview with you, man. Just to see you, really, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's
to have you come on is even better.
I loved it, man. I loved it. I saw that you guys were doing this, and I'm like, I gotta, right? I got to.
Well, we appreciate you sharing your story with us. We all, you know, we go back a long ways. You know her longer than you know me.
Yep.
But I mean, thank you so much, brother. Seriously.
Thanks for having me. You know, I enjoyed it. It was fun. For anybody that's thinking about it, just take the leap, man. There's no nerves. You just start BSing with your friends, right?
That's what it is, man.
It's a good time.
Don't pull shocks now. Come on in.
That's
right.
Big hug.
And guys, if you like, as we always say, if you want to be on the show, give us an email, twwcpodcast@proton.me. And you can be a guest on the show just like Taylor was. And we really appreciate your time, brother. And I guess we'll sign off here. Anything you want to add, babe?
Love you, Taylor.
Love you too, Brett. Love you too, Twapes.
We love you, brother. Hell
love
yeah,
you.
man. We love you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're going to sign off here.
I do have one more thing.
Do it. What?
I'm going to do it to you. Hold on.
Oh, I hear it. I got to crack the safe. Hold on. Gotta crack the safe. Yeah, boy.
Where is it? Let me see it. There they are.
Boy.
Bro, you're even doing the same bag, right? You know? Got the Oakley bags, right?
Ugly mini lens. Well, mine's the mini lens bag.
Yeah, I carry too many of the damn things these days.
2 peas in a pod.
Right?
He's like, we're going to call coins.
There it is, buddy.
There you go, baby.
And I carry Luca with me too every day.
Let's go, buddy.
Right? And then to prove it's mine, there it is. Right. Those are OGs.
Those are the OGs. Look at the deuce and the 17.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
I knew they have those hats on.
Of course.
Yep. That way you could use somebody else's. Right.
I usually don't bring this one out.
Yeah. Well,
That one's a tough one.
This one's a tough one for me. This one's Jimmy. Yeah, right. Like, yeah.
That's right.
Got it everywhere, right? Got the ink. Did the things. So,
We did the things.
right. Love you, man.
Brother, we love you. Everyone, peace out.
See ya.